Like the thumbnail says, this video is not clickbait. If you even attempt to call it clickbait in the comments or social media, I will make sure you regret it. Upon calling this video clickbait, your friends and family will be transported to Mars and forced to work on a mango farm, harvesting Martian mangoes for the rest of their lives. The mangoes also taste like literal shit, but that's all they get to eat. A copy of GTA 6 will be hovered just out of reach above them. I will have Baby Shark played on repeat every day on max volume. I will plaster photos of your comments in all their rooms to remind them that their suffering is your fault. On Earth, your friends and family will be replaced by lifelike organic robots with their memories, so you will never know when or if they got replaced. If you have no friends or family and or you don't have a good relationship with them, I will instead doom your next reincarnation in this world to the same fate, but also curse you with diabolical diarrhea on top of it. Your memories will transfer to this reincarnation just so you can suffer even more. With that out of the way, let's begin the video.
Who would have thought that this little creature, this thing that doesn't require food, water, or oxygen, would eventually become one of the strongest beings in the multiverse, surviving even the very end of the universe. This is Rimuru Tempest, one of the strongest characters in all of anime and light novel history. In fact, he's so powerful that some people argue that he's the strongest character in all of fiction. And after looking at all the skills and abilities he has, I could see why. Rimuru possesses a unique ability called Predator, which allows him to consume and store various substances, both organic and inorganic, and a special stomach where time has no effect. He can analyze whatever he consumes, including people and items, to learn their properties and even gain their skills. Those sentient beings are harder to consume, and stronger ones are immune. Once a target is fully analyzed, Rimuru can mimic their abilities and form through a process. Additionally, he can replicate items such as magic swords and isolate harmful substances, converting them into magical energy. His light body also grants him natural self-regeneration. Rimuru has the ability to shapeshift, allowing him to take on a human form, which he develops over time. He can also merge with other beings for a process called fusion, combining their forms into one. His appearance can be altered based on what he consumes. Additionally, Rimuru can use division to separate himself from any being that might be possessing him. Rimuru's most powerful and invaluable ability is a unique skill called Great Sage, an advanced intelligence that provides him with constant guidance and detailed information about his surroundings and any situation he encounters. This ability has repeatedly saved him from defeat throughout the series. Great Sage enhances Rimuru's perception speed by 1,000 times to thought acceleration and can analyze and identify targets independently using parallel calculation. It also allows him to cast spells without needing to speak. While it grants near omniscient understanding of anything not hidden in the world, Rimuru must first come in contact with a subject to be analyzed. Rimuru's most powerful evolution of this unique ability comes with the transformation of Great Sage into the ultimate skill, Wisdom Lord Raphael, and later into Manus Ciel. After becoming a Demon Lord, Great Sage fuses with Shapeshifter and evolves into Raphael, drastically enhancing Rimuru's capabilities. One of the most notable improvements is the increase in perception speed, from 1,000 times faster with Great Sage to 1,000,000 times faster with Raphael, and he's even capable of pushing this to 10 million times when necessary. This gives him the ability to assess, analyze, and react to threats almost instantaneously, even allowing him to perceive attacks moving at the speed of light. In critical moments, Raphael gives Rimuru the ability to transfer his consciousness, offering a form of escape from otherwise fatal situations. It acts autonomously, defending Rimuru and managing complex strategies without requiring direct input. It also grants him terrifying offensive capabilities, such as transferring his perception ability to enemies. By doing so, he can cause them to experience extreme agony, making them feel as if they were suffering for 10 days in a single second. This already immense power is taken even further with the emergence of Manus Ciel, a higher tier form of Raphael that functions as a fully autonomous brain. Ciel not only retains all Raphael's analytical and combat support functions, but also unifies and optimizes all of Rimuru's abilities for maximum efficiency. This includes overseeing his immense magical reserves and fine-tuning his skills on the fly. Ciel acts as a powerful partner, capable of operating independently while also being fully loyal to Rimuru, often taking initiative to enhance or restructure his abilities without needing to be prompted. With Ciel, Rimuru essentially has a divine-level intellect integrated into his being, allowing him to function like a god in both combat and strategy.
Covenant King Uriel is one of Rimuru's ultimate skills, focused on absolute spatial control and defense. With spatial domination, Uriel grants Rimuru the power to instantly transport himself across vast distances, effectively allowing him to seamlessly teleport. It also enables him to manipulate space to create both complex, multi-layered barriers and an absolute barrier by distorting the very fabric of space, making it nearly impenetrable. One of Uriel's most powerful features is the Infinite Prison, a sealing ability that completely traps the target in an unbreakable spatial cage. Once a being is sealed inside, they are entirely immobilized. Physical escape is impossible, and even the soul only has a 1% chance of slipping free. This makes it one of the most effective containment techniques in Rimuru's arsenal. Additionally, Uriel gives Rimuru access to dimensional severance abilities, allowing him to slice through space and even cut across dimensions. This not only boosts his offensive potential, but also reinforces his dominance over any space-time threat, turning him into an untouchable force in both movement and defense. So basically, Gojo will be cooked. Gluttonous King Beelzebub is an evolved version of Rimuru's original gluttony skill. With Beelzebub, Rimuru can absorb objects from any part of his body, not just through traditional contact. This absorption is far more efficient and powerful, letting him consume enemies and material almost effortlessly, regardless of their composition or position. However, Beelzebub eventually evolves into a terrifying power called Void God Azathoth, a new skill born from the fusion of Beelzebub and Wisdom Lord Raphael. One of his most fearsome traits is soul consumption, an upgrade of the original Predator ability that allows Rimuru to devour anything, body, mind, and soul, leaving nothing behind. Azathoth grants access to Turn Null, a catastrophic energy derived from a chaotic nuclear dimension. This energy so vast and potent that Rimuru can use it to create not just one, but tens, even thousands of entire worlds. It can also destroy absolutely anything, completely erasing matter. He stores his energy within himself, making him a walking engine of creation and destruction. Supporting this power is the Imaginary Room, an upgraded form of his stomach and isolation abilities that acts as a personal dimension, completely isolating and nullifying any target caught inside. In terms of mobility and defense, Azathoth enhances Rimuru with space-time control, enabling him to instantly travel anywhere he desires purely by willing it. He's also shielded by a multi-dimensional barrier, a complex, always active defense that layers spatial gaps to protect him from virtually any attack across dimensions. Harvest Lord Shub Niggurath is a new form of ultimate skill born from the fusion of Gluttonous King Beelzebub and Wisdom Lord Raphael. This ability allows him to not just absorb or analyze abilities, but to fundamentally create, modify, and manage them on a grand scale. Through skill creation, Rimuru can use data gathered from food chain and analysis to forge entirely new skills tailored to specific needs or situations. One of his most versatile features is skill duplication, which lets Rimuru create copies of skills he acquires, and skill gifting, which allows him to bestow these powers on others. These skills can be stored in a skill bank, giving him organized access to an enormous library of abilities without overwhelming his core self. Shub Niggurath also grants Rimuru a set of normal skills. Evil Dragon Lord Azathoth is a powerful and sinister ability that grants Rimuru mastery over organic energy manipulation, a unique form of power originally stolen from a powerful demon. This skill allows Rimuru to absorb energy directly from the living, not only draining his target, but also enabling him to steal their abilities in the process. Unlike previous energy-based abilities tied to elemental or magical sources, Azathoth focuses on life force itself, making it particularly dangerous against living opponents. One of the most powerful features of this ability is the power to generate an infinite number of clones, each sustained by absorbing organic energy. Yet, the true strength of this power lies in its defensive potential. Rimuru can share his consciousness across multiple bodies. These bodies remain interconnected through the soul corridor, an imaginary space that connects two souls, allowing their memories to transcend time and space, merging collectively. As a result, Rimuru becomes virtually immortal. He cannot die as long as any of his bodies continue to exist in the imaginary space where alternate universes the most can't reach. In addition to his ultimate skills and advanced abilities, Rimuru possesses a wide range of powerful supplementary abilities and resistances that further elevate him to godlike status. Among these is Paralyzed Breath, a breath attack that paralyzes most enemies. Thought Transmission, which allows him telepathic communication over vast distances. Perhaps most notably, Rimuru has Time Control, enabling him to completely stop time and move freely within a frozen moment. In this suspended state, nothing, including light, can move, and only spiritual beings like Rimuru can act. He also has extraordinary ability to travel between universes, a feat he used to revive himself before reincarnation and transfer a part of his consciousness, allowing him to exist in multiple realities simultaneously. This multiversal presence further underlines his transcendence beyond a single world or timeline. Rimuru's durability is equally impressive, supported by an array of resistances and immunities. These include resistances or outright nullification of electrical attacks, paralysis, fire, poison, and cold, as well as pain immunity, which allows him to fight without being hindered by injury. His defense mechanisms also include physical attack, nullification, status change, nullification, and mental attack, nullification, making him nearly immune to physical and psychological threats. Crucially, Rimuru's skills cannot be erased by any external force unless the soul is completely destroyed, making him an incredibly persistent and nearly indestructible entity. So, with all these abilities, how exactly are you supposed to beat Rimuru? Even ignoring the pocket dimensions and infinite clones that make him literally unkillable, and matter absorption and time manipulation, he still has an AI that can make countermeasures. Rimuru's hacks are so broken that you literally need someone with better hacks or a form of reality manipulation to pose a real threat. So here are a couple I could think of. Ehiko has the ability for irreversible destruction that allows him to ignore all abilities and phenomena simply by not acknowledging it. This is absolute and has allowed him to tank even reality manipulation. His most impressive feat is against Hajimu Najimi, who has 12 quadrillion abilities. He ignored all of them and one-shotted her with a rubber band. Speaking of which, with 12 quadrillion abilities, Hajimu basically outdoes Rimuru in a number of abilities they possess. All of Rimuru's skills should be something Hajimu has in her arsenal, so you can't really say Rimuru can beat her, because the sheer amount of abilities she has can range from incredibly destructive to unique. One of the abilities she is responsible for is all fiction, a causality erasing power she gifted to Misogi Kumagawa. However, Kumagawa's original ability, called Bookmaker, has even more potential to defeat Rimuru. Bookmaker reduces all targets hit by it to Kumagawa's level in terms of speed, intellect, and talent, even sealing away abilities. He used it to seal away all 12 quadrillion of Hajimu's powers, so theoretically Bookmaker could seal away all Rimuru's unique and ultimate skills, even reducing his physical stats to Kumagawa's level. Sakamaki Izayoi has the ability to destroy abilities with sheer force alone. You might think that isn't that big of a deal, but his power quickly evolves into the Aurora Pillar, which gives Izayoi the power to destroy anything with a single swing, including concepts. The pillar wiped out dimensions, stars, and fourth digit demon lords who require enough force to destroy creation in order to defeat. Not only will Rimuru's abilities be useless against Izayoi, but the Aurora Pillar could easily destroy any attack Rimuru could come up with. Kamijo Toma is similar. A special power in his right hand, Imagine Breaker, can nullify any and all supernatural phenomena. This power is potent enough to nullify forces that can not only destroy planets, but the entire universe itself. In fact, it can undo the concept of phases, which are basically the Tori universe's equivalent to the multiverse. Toma could negate any and all Rimuru's abilities. Yogiri Takuto and Shallow Vernal would just say die, and Rimuru would die. This would include his infinite clones across universes and imaginary dimensions. Hajun, once on the throne, gained dominion over the entire multiverse, being able to manipulate it however he wants. His main goal was to spread his law throughout creation, causing every being in existence to be consumed by murderous feelings. What makes Hajun so dangerous is his infinite Taikyoku value, which is basically the power level of this verse. With the infinite Taikyoku, Hajun's power infinitely grows. One mistake I made in my Hajun vs Feathering video was not acknowledging the fact that Hajun's power grew to a point where it transcended the throne itself. The throne was the original reason Hajun even got the authority to impose his law on the universe. So transcending the throne means he could be above the throne as well. One of Hajun's most destructive feats is destroying an infinite number of worlds simply by mumbling, giving him more destructive potential than Rimuru. Anno's 40 Gold is basically like Rimuru in the insane amount of abilities he contains. Some may argue that they are even more broken. Anno's 40 Gold could potentially beat Rimuru Tempest by using Venzidona, his signature sword that destroys anything, including immortality, concepts, and the law of reality. Rimuru's godlike abilities like regeneration, multi-dimensional barriers, and soul-based immortality and reality control were all governed by logic and systems within his universe. But Venzidona ignores all that by erasing the very concept that makes those abilities function. So even if Rimuru is immortal, untouchable, or exists across timelines, Annos would simply abolish the concepts protecting Rimuru's existence and cut him down, even without making physical contact. There are plenty of other characters I haven't mentioned who could give Rimuru a challenge. But don't get me wrong, a lot of these guys would still struggle or even lose against Rimuru despite their abilities. The thing is, even if you're a relative to Rimuru, in terms of sheer power, the existence of Ciel and multiple layers of immortality makes Rimuru almost impossible to truly defeat. His hacks are very much his biggest asset.